Still, you wanted to believe that there was some basis of truth, something real and valuable in this single-minded obsession of the hijacked environmental movement with man-made global warming. Now, in November 2009, the last traces of doubt have been removed. Last week, an insider leaked internal documents and emails from the Climate Research Unit of East Anglia University and exposed the lies, manipulation, and fraud behind the studies that supposedly show 0.6 degrees Celsius of warming over the last 130 years, and the hockey stick graph that supposedly shows unprecedented warming in our times, and the alarmist warning of impending climate disaster. We now know that they wrote programming notes in their own source code of their own climate models, admitting results were being manually adjusted. We now know that values were being adjusted to conform to scientists' wishes, not reality. We now know that the peer review process itself was being perverted to exclude those scientists whose work criticized their findings. We now know that these scientists expressed doubts to each other about the reliability of the science that they publicly claimed to be settled. We now know, in short, that they were lying. It is unknown as yet what the fallout from all of this will be, but it is evident that the fallout will be substantial. We are at a crossroads of history, and make no mistake, history will be the final judge of our actions. So I leave you today with a simple question. Which side of history do you want to be on?
So all part of more interesting news. Once again, you're learning a little bit more what this ClimateGate means. And notice you don't see it on your TVs. You don't see it on CNN. You don't see it on ABC, NBC. You don't see it in the Boston stations. Why is that? Because all the government, down to my Sharon school system, have been pushing global warming on you. None of them, I guess, understand fourth grade science that when you burn a hydrocarbon, you release carbon dioxide and H2O. Can I ask the viewers out there, can some scientist or farmer come on my show and tell me what is it that a plant needs to survive, to grow? Does a plant need CO2, and what happens if it gets more CO2? By the way, check the history records. There's been greater levels of CO2, 10,000 times greater. Look at the Precambrian numbers, okay? Yeah. So anyway, do plants need water? What do you get when you burn a hydrocarbon like oil and gas and methane and yes, even coal? And there may be sulfur in the oil and there may be sulfur in the coal, which you need scrubbers to remove. But behold the underlying truth. It's a symbiotic system where we, when I say we, when you and your home stay warm in your home and you heat your home, okay, or you generate electricity by making heat and producing steam, that burning of hydrocarbons, the combining of hydrogen and oxygen, the combining of carbon and oxygen is symbiotic with the other life form on this planet we know as plants. So if you want to keep on living, you may want to continue to provide them water and CO2. They also need sunlight. Don't leave that out. You need sunlight too. But think of it, they've been lying to you. Now you're finding out you've been lied to again. Is this anything new? When will you stand up? When will you start screaming? They were planning to enslave you. This whole thing was a carbon credit-based tax system. So they could tax every person. They were going to tax your meat. They're going to tax your fish, your chicken, everything, okay? Out in California, Schwarzenegger, the son of the Nazi, okay? He's taxing people with big TVs. Up in Washington State, okay? They're taxing the people there, well, how far do you drive? Over in Denmark or whatever, they're taxing, they're going to put GPS trackers in the car because of their global footprint. Carbon footprint. You have to start waking up, okay? Just the whole, once again, these globalist banksters found a way that they can get you to feel sorry, like you're hurting the earth by combusting things, by burning oil, by burning coal, by burning wood. But once again, they're going to what? They're going to tear down forests so they can burn the wood when people are going to be starving? This really makes sense. Boy, they really care about people, huh? So anyway, here's some more news. Here's your weekly news thing. How about Blackwater founder reveals he was following orders of the CIA throughout his career, including participation in an assassination program. Blackwater has not been a private contractor in the Army after all, but a CIA asset. Remember that. It was Blackwater they used in Katrina. It was Blackwater they used in Iraq. Okay? Australia, this is good. Oh, by the way, that was from Vanity Fair, a few Vanity Fair enjoyers. Australia, opposition elects new leader who is opposed to carbon trade laws and legislation is defeated. Yes, like I said, good news, a victory. Just like the audit the Fed bill. That's where these banksters, once again, we have foreign bankers controlling our central bank, okay, impoverishing you, stealing from your great-grandchildren, and it takes people like Ron Paul, okay, to stand up and say, we should audit the Fed. It should be open. They should be open books. Who did you give the money to? Yes. Oh, I love this. U.S. Senator Bunning calls Bernanke the definition of a moral hazard and says, are you ready for this? You're going to love this, okay? Your Fed has become a creature from Jekyll Island. Hint, I recommend that book. Great book, okay? By G. Edward Griffin, I also like to know. Anyway, it looks like someone sent him a book to read. You should send one to your congressman and senator. You people should understand fractional reserve banking, this private banking cartel known as the Federal Reserve. What else do we have for you? Here we go. We got, okay, I told you about the University of East Anglia. That, by the way, is where the CRU, the Climate Research Unit, is. This is what the United Nations used to tell you there's global warming. Once again, they wouldn't release their data with a Freedom of Information request, okay? They fought it. They sent emails to each other telling how they can keep from replying to a Freedom of Information request. They won't be open. How can you trust them? But now it turns out that they're sending emails how to get other professors fired. They're sending emails, okay, saying this is how you hide the decline in the temperature. They're sending emails, this is how you cheat. This is what's coming out. And meanwhile, you and Sharon have bought this to such an extent that what? Everything's going to be green. What? I mean, this was all done. This was done through your media that lies to you constantly. Or should I ask you, did they lie you into war? Did they lie to you about 9/11? Okay, did they lie to you about the Gulf of Tonkin? Okay, that's Vietnam, by the way. 2 million Vietnamese dead. 500,000 Americans, wounded and, I don't know how many killed. My gosh, how many times can we be lied to? They lied to us about the .com thing. That's right, every night in the media, get your money in the market. They lied to you about the real estate. Let me tell you, here's a little thing from the commercial real estate. Do you realize that commercial real estate is down now? Let's see, commercial real estate sales are down 82% this year. Thank you, banksters, for this credit bubble, It's amazing, okay? All right, well, I got to go right to, we're going to roll from this. Well, one more thing. Here's a little bombshell, okay? This is from the United Nations. We listened to Ban Ki-moon, the UN, secretary, but here's from the United Nations. Shocking newly uncovered UN strategy documents reveal how elitists are recruiting members of academia from all over the globe in an effort to hide the end run, that's their quote, okay, around the national sovereignty that their agenda represents, emphasizing how climate crooks or climate crooks who were recently caught manipulating scientific data in order to hide the decline in global warming are working with the United Nations in pursuit of a world government, okay, based on this global warming. And they even go in here to say that we're going to use the proceeds from all this global warming taxation to build their one world government, okay? Now, one world government may sound like utopia to you. Is it utopia when Hitler runs it? Is it utopia when Mao runs it? Do you think it's that really utopian? What happened to the saving this republic? By the way, when I grew up, and I wanted to air this piece at the end, but when I grew up, it was about truth. It was about freedom. It was about the American way. Truth, justice, and the American way. Show them what I learned when I was a kid.
Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
What happened to that? You people forget that you're in a republic, not a democracy, and you have to fight for it. You have to fight for the rights of your children. Okay? You got to get off your derrieres, you viewers. So anyway, once again, here we got the wonderful UN out of their documents, okay, outline a program implementing a global system of governance. What does global system of governance mean? It's global government based around the environmental regulations and laws, stressing the agenda of evolutionary nature of strengthening international environmental governance. Don't you see how this was a grab by the UN, okay? And who sold it to you? Al Gore sold it to you, okay? The NFL's even selling it to you. Your media is selling it to you. Your schools are selling it to you. Academia is selling it to you. And what is it? It's a grab. It's a grab for the resources of the world and control of the world. They're going to charge you for exhaling. And if you think carbon dioxide's bad, I have no faith in your intellect, okay? I guess you don't remember 4th grade science and what plants need, okay? This really irks me.